Kansubire ku gate waliwo obukuumi obumala. Kuba mmwe mwamanyira okuddukadduka abamu ku ffe emisinde gyaffe tetugyesiga. Olwekyo abali ku gate kansubire baategese bulungi. Twanze n'ekigere kinnuma we bajjira wano ntuula butuuzi. Honorable Kyagulanyi, the President, the Leader of Opposition, the Secretary General, all the Deputy Presidents, other party leaders, our graduates, other leaders present, the parents to the graduates, friends, everyone. I'm really honored to be before you today as the guest speaker. I congratulate the graduates. I was informed that this is the second certificate awarding ceremony, and that last year the keynote speaker was General Muntu. So this year they looked around for another general, and and they felt that I would be the right person to give the keynote speech. Not really to say that the general title is a big one, especially today. But nevertheless, I'm really honored. I want to first thank you, before I go into the main, the gist of my invitation. I thank you, many of you, for standing with us when I lost my brother a few days ago. Yeah, many of you are there with us. You've sent us messages. I've not read many of the messages because they were overwhelming. You sent messages, condolences, some of you called. Yeah, we really don't take that for granted. Yeah, I thank you so much for that. And in that line, Nsaba ntwala omukisa era to request you that we stand up for a moment of silence in honor of my fallen brother, Dr. John Bosco Chigundu Spire. May his soul rest in peace. Thank you. Maybe I'll not have to translate. I want to assume that many of us will understand me, but also for the sake of including those who may not understand Luganda. Otherwise, if I translate, we might spend the whole day here. So here and there, I'll use a bit of Luganda, but I may not translate everything. When Mr. David Rubongoya reached out to me, I first turned down the invitation. Of course, following the recent loss of my dear brother, I have not yet recovered from the shock and pain. I've been quiet for a while since my mind is not yet in the right place. I'm still going through a long night. But I quickly remembered that when my brother died, Mr. Rubongoya is one of the so many people that reached out to me with condolences and a message from the President, Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi. Abaganda bagamba nti munno mukabi. Yes, a friend in difficult times is a true friend. But also on top of that, although I have not been very close to NUP, and this is my first time here, on a number of occasions, the leaders have reached out to me, sometimes encouraging me, please visit us, could we have a talk? A few years ago, I held a comedy show, and I was surprised to see the entire crew of Honorable Kyagulanyi. Yes, even Nubian Lee was there with his small voice. I saw him in the audience. Yes, and Eddie Mutwe, the Secretary General as well. I was really surprised because I never invited any politician, especially I wouldn't invite them because I wanted the show to go on. So I don't know whether their intention was to sabotage the show by their presence. Yeah, but it means a lot if one can just randomly show up, and they showed up in such a number. I'm impressed by people who are humble. I'm impressed by people who do not try to show that they are high up there, but who can come down, regardless of the positions they might hold or their qualifications. And I've seen this on a number of occasions, your leaders going to places where you wouldn't expect them to be. So that being with me, that being with us in grieving, but also on other occasions where it was really surprising for them to be there. I don't take it for granted. I remember even the time I was quarantined, again, Honorable Chagulanyi called me, and he's one of those that try to encourage me to go through that difficult time. So therefore, despite my current circumstances, I changed my mind and accepted to be here today. A friend I told about coming here asked me, "Are you sure you want to go there? Are you sure you want to be kidnapped while still grieving?" I told him that the kidnappers are human, they can't do that. Yes, and sometimes they are too stupid, they could take that for a compliment. The second reason why I accepted is because I believe that my relevance as an academic is primarily in being able to share the knowledge I have been privileged to acquire with my people that might need it. My titles mean little or nothing if I'm irrelevant to my community. We who want to consider ourselves to be highly educated have on so many occasions dismissed those who are trying to change what is not going right in this country. We have said that they lack knowledge. We said they are not well groomed. We have said they are unwashed. We have said they are still raw. In one of the speeches, I think the representatives of the group, yes, she said, you went to the training when you were, did you mean raw or low? Oh, when you were raw. And now the president whispered to me that now you're low, L-A-W. Yes, so they said that some of you were raw and dismissed you on that account. Yet whenever we are invited to rise to the occasion, we shy away with excuses. I have chosen to respect whoever tries to do what needs to be done, even if they may not be perfect, even if they may be imperfect. After all, we are all imperfect. Era Abaganda tugamba nti akanyuga lyali nalyo n'olwekyo mbasaamu ekitiibwa olw'okukanyuga lye muli nalyo wadde abamu bagamba nti ttono oba wadde abamu bagamba nti mukutte ekifunfugu. I will certainly critique them, but in the spirit of improving, not destroying. That is the second reason why I accepted to come. I'm not here because you're perfect. No one is. I'm not here because I agree with everything you do. I'm not here because I think you have the best credentials. I'm here because, unlike many of us, you chose not to fold your hands. You chose to do what you can do in your capacity, which is better than doing nothing. I'm here because despite of all the risks you face, despite of the pictures on those walls of your comrades who have died in the struggle, despite of your colleagues being locked away in this beautiful country's jails without any fair trial, despite frequent threats of crushing you for no good reason, despite the everyday risk of being rounded up and driven away for torture, despite temptations of big monies being thrown at you, You people still stand by what you believe. I respect that. Yes, it is indeed surprising that with all that has happened at this place, you can still come here and find people seated here. You would only expect a fool to sit in such a place. Because for some, even just passing there, they have to run. Because this is a dangerous place. It's like what we used to hear about Bermuda Triangle. So for you to choose to still stay in a place that is that risky to be, especially where the risk is not for having broken any law, but for standing by a certain cause. I really respect that. Whether I agree with it or not, I still respect it. And especially because we don't have many people today who are willing to take such a stance. The third reason I'm here is because of your constant efforts at making yourselves better. You have challenged many of us at individual level, we who consider ourselves to be more worthy. You have challenged old political parties and seasoned politicians. Of course, it's not to say or to despise them. They are doing some of them are doing wonderful things. But I think it's a challenge for the few years you've been around to do what you've been able to do. We may publicly bash you, but we privately ask ourselves, aba bavubuka bakikola batya? You have responded to dismissal by proving your capacity to grow and transform, as the president said. We said you're not educated, which was not entirely true because many of you are really educated and even highly educated. But when we say that you're not educated, many of you went back to school. We said you were bayaye, hooligans. Although I think many of you might have believed, like I do, that there is nothing wrong with carrying dreadlocks. You painfully cut them off to fit into the public's idea of a decent person. After all, and this reminds me of a song by Morgan Heritage. You don't? Yes, right. You don't have to dread to be Rasta. Where are you? You don't have to dread to be Rasta. Uh-huh. Yes, it's not a dreadlocks thing. It's a divine conception of the heart. Nubian, I expected to hear your small voice behind. I don't know why. For the many years I've been hearing your collabos with now Bobby Wine, I don't know why you choose to always sing the small voice and he sings the big one. Yes, but the point I'm trying to make is that even when they said you're bayaye, some of you had to cut off your dreadlocks, although you knew that it's not really about the dreadlocks, it's not about appearance, it's what one has at heart, what one has in their mind. You chose to cut them off to fit into the public narrative for the sake of what you believed needed to be done. You set up a leadership school whose fruits we are celebrating today, something that was unprecedented. We wondered what the curriculum was, and it has been asked many times. I heard you mention some of the things you studied, but many people have been asking, what is that school teaching and who are the lecturers? I've been able to see some of them here today. Yes, but that's no mean achievement, and beyond it being an achievement, it also shows the zeal to learn, and understanding that we are not going to keep ourselves in a particular position. We need to inform ourselves in order to do what we have to do. Someone said that, I forget the name, that if he was given a task of cutting down a tree, and he was given 4 hours, he would spend the first 3 hours sharpening the axe, and maybe 1 hour to cut the tree. You have been sharpening your axe because there was a provision that was set according to the vision, which I really commend. Earlier this year, you invited me to speak to your trainees. It was my first time to visit your facilities. One thing that struck me was how the trainees listened very attentively and with very high discipline for over 3 hours. For over 3 hours, I overstayed my welcome. I was invited to speak for 1 hour, I ended up speaking for 3. But they stayed there listening attentively. And the discipline with which they took instruction from the director, Miss Doreen Kaija, it was really amazing. At the time I visited the school, it had just been violently raided by security and most equipment had been confiscated. I asked if there was a projector that I could use for my presentation. And Doreen responded, "We don't have, everything was taken." But when I entered the room, I found it packed with people waiting for me. I asked them, "You people, how are you able to still gather in this place, yet you know you can be rounded up any time?" They simply laughed. I found that commitment and the desire to learn quite impressive. The fourth reason why I'm here, now when I'm giving the reasons, it sounds like I'm singing UB40's song. Which song is that? Even Doctor is also into the thing. Yes, reasons why I love you, 1, reasons why I love you, 2. Now I'm on the 4th reason. This is a selfish one. I'm here to distract myself from the pain of losing my brother and to use this occasion to make reflections on life, purpose, and resilience, which could speak to your life experiences and aspirations. When John died, almost everything I have been doing lost meaning. Kati abakamera balinze nkaabe sigenda kaaba. Mwagala mukwata akafaananyi mukajjeyo nga wayise emyaka ng'akapasita Bujingo mukatambuze. Sigenda kaaba wadde enkovu zinnuma. So when John died, almost everything I've been doing lost meaning. I keep asking myself, what for? What is life all about? What is the actual difference between being alive and being dead? Why do we struggle so hard in life only to vanish like wildflowers? Why do people who try to do good suffer? Why do those who bring pain to others often live long? What is the worth of our effort on earth? Why should we continue doing anything or even continue to live? So many questions, very few clear answers. I will only expand on one here. The question of why we are here on earth is a difficult one to answer. Ensonga lwaki tuli wano ku nsi ng'abantu nzibu nnyo okuzuula. From a religious angle, the answer comes easily, that we are here to worship God and do whatever He created us to do. I would focus more on the second purpose of doing what we were created for. On the purpose of worshiping God, I'm hesitant to believe that a perfect God would create us simply for the sake of singing His greatness. only imperfect beings wish to be worshipped. I'm therefore more